All right, Sha'Carri Richardson. You know, with the situation surrounding Sha'Carri, I think it's important to remember that there are lots of things that people have to overcome in our society, and there are lots of legitimate cries for changes in our society right now. Whether you look at what's happening here in the United States, people's movements in Latin America, movements in Europe, you know, lots of people crying for changes and so on. What I fear with Sha'Carri Richardson is she's being used in that in a way that just doesn't make sense. And I think it's being done by some well meaning people, by some really intelligent people, some people who, in my opinion, should really have better vision than this. Let me explain what I mean. Sha'Carri Richardson failed the drug test a few weeks out from the Olympics. She went on the Today Show. She seemed to understand that it was her fault. She took responsibility for that failed test. She apologized to America. She apologized to her fans. She vowed to never make a mistake like this again. And as far as I'm concerned, that should have been good enough. And from that, we should have gotten from that, okay, the person messed up, but look, the person's 21 years old. You can hear it from her speaking. She hasn't had a lot of training. She doesn't have a lot of that savvy yet. Let's give her a few years. Let's see, 4 or 5 years down the line, how she's. I suspect she'll be better in that department. The lesson we should have taken is, you know what? This is a good lesson to for all of us to take personally. Sometimes we're gonna fall down, we're gonna make mistakes, but if we respond in the way a champion would, we're going to be okay. And I suspect Sha'Carri is going to be just fine. You don't get to be that level of athlete without being able to have discipline. Yeah, she made a mistake, but I think she'll be fine. It's all the other people. I watch the SBs and I'm hearing that, and you hear all these things about WADA and how this is a racist system. Guys, there are things with the Olympic Committee that we can argue with. There are things that I think are a little bit suspect, you know, hair caps on swim teams. But as it relates to Miss Sha'Carri Richardson, she's not off that team because she's black. In a couple weeks, a black person will win gold, a black person will win silver, and a black person is likely going to win bronze. And if they had any colors after that, the next seven are probably going to be black in that 100-meter race. Whether it's USA, Jamaica, Canada, one of those three nations will be represented by a black person in that event, and they will win all the medals. That podium picture is going to be all black women. So Sha'Carri's not left out of the 100 meters because she's black. Similarly, Michael Phelps wasn't, suspended because he was on the cornflakes box. Sha'Carri knows she made a mistake. She comported herself as a champion. She admitted her mistake. She took responsibility for her mistake, and everybody else should sit out. I know, Patrick Mahomes. I know. But seriously, no. Whether or not you and I agree that, okay, yeah, weed is sort of a silly thing to be sending people to jail for. If you're a weed smoker, you probably shouldn't be doing any hard time in prison. If you happen to have sold weed, I don't think you should be doing significant amounts of time in prison for that. But if tomorrow you showed up to work and they were drug testing, you're an accountant, lawyer, whatever it is, you could be working at the local Chick-fil-A or the local McDonald's. If they drug test you tomorrow at your job and you fail, you're going to get fired. Not because you're the blackest or the gayest or the fry cook with the orange hair, but because it's there in black and white. This is a letter of the law type of situation. Now, on the other side, there are those who scream personal responsibility and blah. Okay, so those people, like I said in the beginning, let me know what you were doing at 21. And number two, At 21, did you have this type of impact? Did you have these types of pressures on you? Were you ever this good at whatever you were doing at 21? If not, you should also sit down because everyone needs to just stop talking for this young woman and accept the fact that, hey, she'll probably represent us in the future. Next year at the World Games, she will be representing us. She will likely win a medal next year, and then in 3 more years, when we do the 2024 Olympics, she will likely medal in the 100 meters. Health willing, she's going to be great. So, folks, everybody, LeBron, chill. Allow her to be her and allow her to become the great champion that I think she will become.